Welcome to the Reidsville Chamber of Commerce News and Views Show. I'm your host, Diane Sawyer, President and CEO of the Reidsville Chamber. Today we have with us Ms. Summer Moore, City Manager.
Thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate you doing this. It definitely fills a void in our community. So thank you for having me on today.
Aw, thank you. We are excited. I feel like more and more people keep coming up and we're getting a lot more views and a lot more attention. We've been very intentional about our content and trying to we upped our game, gosh, I don't know, a year ago, 2 years ago, and started doing 3 a month. And so I think that allows us to have you on regularly or someone from your staff and then also still interview some other folks. And I just think it's awesome because people are starting to come up and say, I watch it every morning, and Rockingham Update's doing these great daily broadcasts. And so I think we're getting information out there.
We really appreciate the opportunity to partner with you.
Yeah, well, you have been on the show the last several months and we've teed up. Let's just talk about hard stuff first. We are preparing. It's finally here. We are having our Java and Jargon Make the UDO Make Sense event, which is on September 16th, and it's in the morning. It's free to attend. Tell me why we're doing this.
So we as the city, we as Reidsville, we as Team Reidsville, in partnership with the Chamber, desperately wanted to pull this off because I know it's been at least 2 years we've been talking about the Unified Development Ordinance, otherwise known as the UDO. And because of that vernacular, I think you had the great idea to come up with Java and Jargon, because so many times it's easy for us as city staff to say UDO. We know what that means and what it surrounds, but it's hard because that's jargon to a lot of people. So it's really important. We wanted to do a broader public input session just to kind of inform the public of where we've been with the UDO since it has been a couple of years, where we're at and where we're going. And this will just be a great opportunity for the public to come and learn maybe some myths versus facts. And I think that's going to be a really good section. I know that we've been working on with the Chamber and some other great local business leaders is to kind of tee it off with what are myths, what are facts about the UDO, and kind of, some of the things that we hear in feedback. It may be more building code versus the UDO, the Unified Development Ordinance. But I think that's our role as leaders in the community, is to help community members understand the difference. The biggest purpose of this meeting is to get the feedback from citizens and business owners. So if you own a business in Reidsville, please sign up and come to this. We want to hear your feedback. What are some of the struggles you're experiencing? Again, it may be a building code problem, but it may be something associated with zoning. But that allows us to get feedback and see what we can do to help with that. So we're excited to kick that off. We have done some public input sessions in the past, but again, it's been a little bit. And we just really want to put this on a broader scale. And that's why we appreciate the partnership with the Chamber, because you have a vast audience that we really want to reach and really get that feedback on this.
Well, I just think that it's important. The Chamber's role in this is to promote and to educate people on the process, on the event, again, on the ability to have a voice, to have input. And you're right. You and I talk about this a lot. When it's just us, we struggle to keep up with all the pieces and the jargon. It's why you have a team, right? It's why you have the people that tell you you have experts. But I think people don't understand how much goes into purchasing property or developing property or changing property. You hear words like grandfathered in, you hear words like central business district, or you hear it's not the correct use. And you're like, well, what does all that stuff mean, right? And so much of it may not be zoning. It may be zoning, or it could be, things that are directly applicable in Reidsville, but a lot of it is state mandated stuff. And so I think this is a really important time to try to define what it is and what it's not and what we're trying to do. And one of the things that I have used as an example is that we're trying to take this book where we've amended it over the years and just rewrite it, make it one copy, really easy to read, and get rid of some of the red tape, clear up some of the gray areas, and just make it more friendly for all of us. But one of the really cool things is your team is following your vision. And I had a council member on this morning was talking about what great vision you have for this city. And one of the things that your team is doing, you've expanded your economic development team. We have a new position there, newish, right? I mean, like Chase has been with us for a while, but like that wasn't a thing before. We joke about hand holding when it comes to certain pieces, but that's a legitimate thing that we need people to hold hands, right? And they may fall in the hands of the small business center with Randy. They could fall in my lap. They could fall, there's all these different places that they land, but we need to start funneling them to Chase so that he can lead them through the processes of who they need to talk to. And so your team is doing rock star stuff, and it's just time for people to get involved. So I just encourage everybody, engage. And that's not just on the UDO. That's on everything, because we are moving at a rapid pace on a lot of things. But September 16th, you can register on the chamber website. We will feed you first come, first serve basis. But get registered. Come out. We'd love to have you. I'm going to MC, and we're going to have a panel. We're also going to have a very short presentation, kind of an overview. We'll have some frequently asked questions. It's just going to be a good time. And I mean, if nothing else, it's a good time to communicate and connect with your city leaders, with your council members, and other businesses.
No, we appreciate that. And, just to kind of take it a step further too, is this is not us just rolling out the UDO. The UDO is not finalized. So if you're interested in coming to this meeting, just keep in mind that it is not a finished product. That's the purpose of this meeting, is to continue to get community feedback at an even broader level, so we can look at getting this document completed and tied together. Because that is the big thing, and you nailed it, is to look at removing some red tape where we can. Because when this document, it's not been compiled into a single document, and it has been piecemealed, which it's worked over the years. There's nothing wrong with that. But your planning and zoning standards have changed since the 80s, such as lot sizes. If you go through any community now, you see a lot of developers requesting smaller setback requirements because they won't, individuals are looking for smaller yards. Where, in the past, people wanted larger yards. So it's just looking at ways to remove some of the red tape for development, but while also being mindful of our current residents and what their desires are for their city. So again, encourage everyone to come out. But when you come to this meeting, it's not to roll out the UDO, it's to get your feedback and to get your vision on what you want to see, because this is your community and we're all one Team Reidsville.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of Team Reidsville and speaking of development, we have seen just a ton of things that have come through City Council, like rooftops are happening. Talk to me a little bit about that.
So that has been an outstanding process, just really in the last, it's been going on for a couple of years, but you've saw it, any of our viewers who have watched some of our City Council meetings, especially the last couple months, like, development is happening, particularly residential development. That's always the thing, is rooftops, businesses follow rooftops. And I think that's a great sign that you have all these developments for residential living wanting to come here. In the next 2 to 4 years, we have well over 1,200 new homes that are supposed to be here in Reidsville. And it's just astounding to see that, because we're growing and we're poised for even more growth. And as we've talked on some of our other segments, I think a lot of it has to do with our location and our proximity to Greensboro, Danville, Burlington. We are a great place to raise a family, to have a house here, to have a career here. We're being very comparable to other municipalities around us. And I think that's something that the city, the county, the chambers have done a great job on, is trying to promote Reidsville and say, hey, look at us. We're a destination. You want to live here, you want to work here, you want to play here. And I think that's, contributed to a lot of the growth that we're seeing. You've also saw some manufacturing growth starting to happen again with Farmina coming online. That was a great ribbon cutting a couple months ago. with some other great economic development announcements that have came with some of our existing businesses. So we're really excited to see that growth. And I know things are hard right now on an economy level, but the growth is still here and it's still happening, and just to try and support that growth where we can.
Absolutely. You know, there are, it's unbelievable to me, the changes and the things that are happening. And, you know, there are so many driving forces behind all of the things that are happening. And, you know, that's why I said, speaking of Team Reidsville, because you're right, look, we're all on the same team and we're all going after some of the same things. One of those things is, what are we doing about foot traffic? What are we doing about having our businesses? And I was just talking about earlier, we had Councilman Coates on this morning, but he was talking about his business, and he was talking about Coates Collectibles, and we were talking about foot traffic downtown. And, you know, we've got a couple businesses who are staying open now till 6 on certain days of the week, or some of them are 6 all of the week. But how, you know, the rooftops will affect them is going to be major. And it's going to be something that the chamber, the city, the visitor center, the businesses, the merchants, like, we all got to work together on doing some of that. And one of the things that's your vision is the Fab Fest, and making it a huge street festival, and kind of going back to our roots a little bit, but also going forward, like making that. So tell us about some of your plans for that.
So we're really excited about Fab Festival this year, and it's food, art, and brew, and really looking at ways to make it, you know, in the past, I know it's been more centralized on food, local vendors with artisans. We're just trying to expand it to make it more kid-friendly as well, and introducing some fun activities. So some of the things we're considering this year are some roving characters, also some stilt walkers, also looking at doing a lot of kids activities while still having a great band, chairman of the board, looking at doing a pumpkin pie eating contest, looking at doing a pumpkin roll contest, which I'm really excited about, and then also maybe a costume contest for kids. But just looking to give back to the community a true fall feel, because that's a great segue to kind of kick off the holiday season. And it's a great opportunity for people to visit downtown Reidsville, because they're probably already in their mind looking to shop for holidays coming up. And maybe they see something in the store that they see a gift opportunity, but to just get some foot traffic downtown. You know, that's kind of our role as the city, is just to try and get foot traffic downtown. So if you've got other ideas, please reach out to us. But we're really excited to try and really rebrand Fab Festival this year with some great local partnerships, the chamber, the RDC, just really looking to broaden that. Also looking at maybe some type of car show, but just to really, really make us stand out and get some visitors downtown.
Absolutely. And, you know, I think that those are some great ideas. And I think that, as you mentioned, you know, we're hoping to get people out and foot traffic, start doing their holiday shopping. I know I do. I know anytime I walk a fall street festival, that's what I'm doing, is I'm looking for gifts, unique things, things that you can't necessarily purchase every day. And so I think that we have a little bit of a gap right now, in that we don't have the daily artisan vendors where you can go daily and purchase. We've, throughout the years, had some multiple stores that were carrying local vendors, and we're a little bit down on that inventory right now. So I think the Fab Fest is going to be a great day to come out and do some purchasing. But, you know, as we're leaning towards the end of summer, we are gearing up for fall and all things holidays, Christmas. I know the Shop Small Committee is working really hard. We are going with a stocking stuffer Saturday theme.
Nice.
And so we are really excited to, we're going to be giving away a large stocking that's going to be filled with some items, but also hoping to give away individual stockings that day instead of shopping bags. So we're hoping that folks will go downtown and fill their stockings and purchase items from a lot of our vendors. So I know as we're coming up, we're hoping to get more foot traffic. I know that some things have kind of moved around. I know we've had Coates come up the street, and we've had some other buildings that people are looking at. Maybe not going to happen this season, but there's some things in the work for next year. So, I mean, there's some really exciting things that are changing But there's also some opportunities that are coming available with certain buildings and things kind of maneuvering through. So, I think that if people will continue to stay engaged, that's the biggest thing. I said something to somebody yesterday. We were having a conversation, and they said, well, we put this on Facebook and we can do this. And getting information out right now is hard.
It is very hard.
And I think people have to want to be engaged. I think that's one of the things that over my 15 years here at the Chamber, I have learned is that we can print flyers, we can hang flyers, we can pass them out, we can get billboards, we can get TV commercials, but people have to want to hear information and they have to want to be engaged. So I think that for me, that's one of the biggest things that is, a struggle. And I think we'd love to hear feedback from people. We'd love to hear, how they want to get their information. But we have a texting program, and we have apps, and we have all these things, and websites, and social media, and billboards, and TV and radio commercials. And so I just think that we are working through some of those things, and it's been great to partner with you all. I know that we make things happen where we can, where maybe we have the ability or you have the ability. So I think there's a lot of stuff on the horizon.
There is, and we're really excited about that. And I think you nailed it too, is we go into, it's already hard to believe it's already August. And I know the summer months are really hard because you have so many people who are traveling, schools out, back to school shopping. Like the summer months I know can be very, very hard on our local businesses. So when you can, support your local merchants throughout downtown, throughout all of Reidsville. And then just, bear in mind as we gear up for the holiday season, there's options there too, just to try and get more people downtown. And I think that's the reason we really wanted to expand Fab Festival, is just to get a broader audience, specifically target more to families and kids, to bring them downtown to hopefully let them see the fun, unique opportunities that Reidsville offers with some of our great downtown merchants.
It's funny. We had coffee this week at Reidsville Area Foundation, and one of the things that their executive director, Dawn, was mentioning was when they host the high school kids, they do a scavenger hunt. And we participate in that. So they come in here and we talk to them. And she said, almost always, like 100% of the kids have never been in and out of these buildings down here and in and out of these businesses. And I was like, I'd almost love to know, I'd love to count the cars that drive through downtown but never stop in downtown, never park, never stop on Freeway Drive. They drive through all the time. I mean, we have an intersection in Reidsville that is one of the highest traffic intersections in all of Rockingham County. Yet how many people stop at that Tractor Supply? How many people stop on Freeway as they're coming through? And I just don't think that people realize what we have to offer. They automatically assume that they can't get it here in Reidsville, and so they go other places. And so we just continue to try to get the word out about how important it is. But at the end of the day, you're supporting your friends, your family, your local neighbors. I know some of the stores downtown, there's a lot of crossover with the teachers and the schools, because the teachers, some of them have friends or people that have been inside the school system and now work. And so you see some of them cross promote some of that stuff. But the summer is hard.
It is hard.
You talked about the summer being hard, and I was sitting here thinking about, and it has either poured rain or been so incredibly hot that you couldn't stand to be outside. And the weather is a big factor. People are staying home, not going, or they're out of town completely. And so I just think, it's a difficult time, and I need people to keep it in mind that as we are approaching the holiday season, it is more important than ever to shop local, to support local. You are supporting your neighbors and their livelihoods and their dreams and the things they want. But for us, I mean, especially those of us who work in Reidsville that don't drive outside, we want places to eat. We want to be able, for me, I don't shop outside of Rockingham County if I can help it. A, because of my job and I understand the impact, but B, because I do have a career here. And so I want to be able to find a gift, to find a dress, to find whatever it is I'm looking for without having to make a special effort in the evenings or on the weekends.
Yeah, and I think you just nailed it too, and that's one of the things that I've got to give props to our economic development team and our Main Street program is our farmers market on Thursday evenings. And, that was something I knew you and I had talked about. It's been talked about for a while, but like you said, the summer is very hard, but just even trying to bring some activity downtown, like on a Thursday evening with the farmers market. But again, just even that's you can get local produce that's fresh. So, I mean, that's just a thought too, is, as we start transitioning through the seasons, just bear with us as we try and figure out more creative ways to try and generate the foot traffic downtown. I think the farmers market was a start to that, and it's just how do we continue to capitalize on that?
I think so too. And I think that it is going to grow with time. I know that you will be patient with that. Just as I tell our merchants, if you're going to try late hours, be patient. You've got to stay consistent. You got to promote it, and you've got to, stick with it for long enough for people to know about it, for sure.
Yeah, and I think you made a good point with consistency, and going back to Fab for a moment. Please bear with us this year. This is the first year, well, myself included, some of us trying to get together to pull off a unique festival. So there's going to be hits and there's going to be some misses. And, that's where we use it as a learning opportunity to make things bigger and better each year. So consistency, I think, is key for us as we go through this festival as well. But we just asked our merchants, our viewers, our visitors, just be patient with us at Fab Festival because something will go wrong. I think that's just inevitable with any festival, but just to use it as a learning tool to move forward and to grow the festival bigger and better. And, we would love, after we do Fab Festival, I know we'll do probably a follow-up show here, but to get your feedback. What were some things you liked? What were some things you didn't like? What things would you like to see different?
Absolutely. And I think we have a great history, a great basis when we think about the Fab, but also when we think back to years past, there are things that we know, we've heard feedback, we know that people did or didn't like. Mm-hmm. So you have some things and some ideas, and then of course you've had some really great brand new ideas, and so I think it really is going to be great. And there'll be some hits and misses, like you said, but it'll be okay, and it'll be a great day. And I think it's going to be a good, fun day. Yeah. So that's exciting.
Very exciting.
We really don't have much time left. What else do we want to cover today?
Just, we do have some fun development. I know Lenise Lane and her team are working on some items in the Depot District, so we're excited about that. Hoping maybe in a couple months we can give you guys some updates there with some buildings on Market Street.
Awesome.
So that that's still in there. That's all kind of part of the UDO as well as far as zoning and stuff that we've been looking at. But we're just excited. It's kind of, I was thinking yesterday, May is kind of your kickoff for summer. And then late yesterday afternoon, I was outside and I thought, it just had that fall feel to it. I was like, August is kind of when summer's winding down. Mm-hmm. But it's exciting because it's a new season. And I think Reidsville, we're always in a new season and we just have to learn to embrace it.
Yeah, and change is hard.
Change is very hard.
So it's very good advice, I think, to just welcome, and embrace what's coming next. Mm-hmm. I more than ever, I'm telling you from a personal standpoint, I am definitely in a season of change. I've got a child going to high school, going to be on the college campus. I've got one going to middle, one his first year of grades and testing. And, so personally, I've been reflecting about, and there's a piece of me that's just like, really super sad about it because it's very bittersweet. But there's also a piece of me like we are living our best lives. Like we are loving it. But it also relates to how I think about the chamber and how I think about the community and how I think about the things that I'm teaching my children and all of my circle and the people around me about how to support, how to engage, how to be a true part of your community. And it matters. And those people that are making a difference shouldn't be the only people. It should be a whole community thing. And so I just see all these folks coming out. One of the things that's happening is the Project Dream is kind of ramping back up. and we've got the fire hydrant project. So tell me a little bit about what's going on with that.
So we're really excited about that, and that's been a project, I believe, with RDC in the past. And I know that was something when I got here, I thought, what a cool idea when you see all the different local artists and members of our community and young members of our community who have painted our fire hydrants. Again, over time, years, elements, they do start to fade. So I'm really excited that RDC, in partnership with the chamber and the city, are looking to revamp that program and get that started again, because I cannot wait to see what some of our young artists come up with their designs on those fire hydrants. And I think that's just a unique concept for Reidsville. It just shows, some creativity. It really emphasizes the local youth in our community and what they can contribute, because youth is our future. And I think you just nailed it with some of the seasons in life that you're experiencing, like everyone experiences too and are seeing now, is things are changing, and we just have to make sure that we're preparing the city of Reidsville, all of Reidsville, to leave it in a place for our youth to have opportunities like we have.
Absolutely. And we do have to look ahead and think about the infrastructure and figure things out. So, I mean, I think that more than ever, this is going to be a great fall, and it's going to be a great holiday season. But, you and I have even talked about how do we keep things rolling through the winter. One of the things in the past has been the casino night, and that was always supposed to be a cold weather event. So we're hoping maybe in the dead of winter this year, kind of beginning of next calendar year, we can bring that back and have that event. There's just some really cool things that I think that some of us are starting to get behind and try to figure out, like, how do we keep things moving. But they're always changing. We're going to lose merchants, we're going to lose dining establishments, but then we're going to have new ones too, and it's going to work itself out. And I think to anybody that has anything that is not nice or unkind or not positive to say, is that I think you probably should look a little deeper at some of the things that are happening, because I think that while the summer has been tough, and I know that right now things are kind of in a dry spell. We are getting ready to hit the ground running because school's going back. Open houses are starting to happen right now for the early programs. And then, the kids are back in school in 2 weeks. So all that stuff is getting ready to just pop for the next 2 business weeks. So I'm appreciative to all the businesses who are doing school supply drives, who are supporting teachers and their classrooms. Make sure you check out social media and check out all of that. And if you can contribute and help out, then do that in that way, and shop your local merchant too.
Couldn't agree more.
Anything we want to add or wrap up with, or are we all good?
Just appreciate your time today and the opportunity, your leadership here at the chamber, your ambassadors, and all that you guys do for the community. Like, it makes a huge impact. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. And I know you guys, like, we've transitioned out of budget and all the things, and you've still got all those major things happening, the things at Lake Reidsville, the things with Public Works. And we took a little bit of a break from that today, but you're getting ready to transition to the fall and the decorating. We probably should mention, I know it's early, but Halloween, the trick-or-treating is going to be on Thursday the 30th. I've already started getting emails about it, so put that out there. It just really is, by the time, I can't believe it, by the time we get back for next month, a lot of this stuff will be on top of us. So
exactly. Good point.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here today as we wrap up summer with Summer, the one and only Summer. And we will see you guys next time.
Thank you so much.
All right, folks, that's it for today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, you can find us in the heart of downtown Reidsville at 140 South Scale Street, on our social media, and at reidsvillechamber.org. Thanks, and stay tuned.